What's up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince, back again with you with another top 10 video. I've said I was gonna do more top 10s for Raw, leading up to the Raw's 25th anniversary. So I decided to do this one, the 10 best debuts of Raw history. Now, these guys could be coming straight from NXT. They could be doing, they could be from anywhere. They could come from WCW. They could be brand new characters. It could be something different from, and I think these 10 debuts definitely made it up for me. Some honorable mentions. There's not a lot because a lot of people debut either on SmackDown or on pay-per-views, but let's see. And it doesn't have to be exactly a match. It could be just them appearing for the very first time on Raw. And, Santino, despite him being a goofball character, he was great. He debuted on April 16, 2007 with the help of Lashley. He became IC champion. Enzo and Cass debuted the night after WrestleMania 32 from April 4th, 2016. Braun Strowman, not when he became his own man, but when they brought him for the first time as the Black Sheep. This was on August 24th, 2015. Samoa Joe last year on January 30th was amazing. One of the best debuts ever. And Chainsaw Charlie from... I know Terry Funk was around, but Chainsaw Charlie made his character debut, so that made it great for me. This was December 29th, 1997. And these are the next, my top 10 favorite debuts in Raw history. At number 10 for me, I have to give it to Sami Zayn from Raw's May 4th, 2015. Sami Zayn, Raw took place in Canada. At the time, John Cena was doing these open challenges. And Bret Hart comes in like, you're now the best champion, I guess. But here, here in Canada, we have another Canadian coming in. At first, they tease us with Heath Slater, which was funny. And then Sami Zayn officially makes his debut. And he didn't have to win. He just needed to have a good match with John Cena. And sure enough, that's what they did. And it was a great match. And it made Sami Zayn a name that, sadly, it's not that great anymore, considering where he is at right now. I mean, he's doing great right now. But, I mean, he had so much momentum with this match. Now, you could say he debuted the following, the past year when they were promoting NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way. I remember this. It was Neville and Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze and Tyson Kidd to promote NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way at the time. You could count that, but this is when Sami Zayn finally made his name, and it was just the perfect debut for him. At number 9 for me, honestly, it was in the same year, from May 18th, 2015. Kevin Owens, yes. John Cena's issuing another open challenge after beating Rusev, and then it's time for Cena to move on to somebody else, somebody new, someone fresh. And Kevin Owens comes in, talks about how he's been doing this longer than John Cena. He's been wrestling longer than him. He's done a lot more than he deserves, more respect than John Cena, basically what every other guy has ever said in the past. And then Kevin Owens beats the crap out of John Cena. That leads up their feud and their epic trilogy of matches. And it was just a great debut. Good back and forth promos. Granted, I wish Kevin Owens won at the end, the US belt, but anyways, I was just glad to see Kevin Owens have good chemistry on the mic and in the ring with John Cena, and it was just a great promo, great way to debut, and it made the NXT Championship look more prestigious than it is. Basically, he comes with the NXT Championship, and he makes it feel more like a championship than anybody else could. Kevin Owens was the perfect heel champion. Bobby Roode was a close pick, but that's just my personal opinion. At number 8, the Nexus. Now, say what you will about them having a shitty run. The Nexus had a way way too cool debut. Basically, a bunch of goofballs in NXT doing stupid shit like playing, juggling balls, doing all these stupid brackets, carrying a wheelbarrow. It was just really a weird show. And Wade Barrett ended up winning that show. He said, "Man, you know what? I need a debut, right?" And he brings in every guy from the from that NXT roster, and beats the shit out of Cena, CM Punk, Luke Gallows. It was the viewer's choice night. I remember this. The viewer's choice. Basically, it was a 3-hour special, and it ends with a bang with Nexus breaking the ring, throwing the announce table, choking Justin Roberts with a tie, which led to Daniel Bryan being fired and thankfully coming back. It was just a great debut. I wish that they were booked a lot better down the road, but yeah, their debut was pretty awesome. At number 7, we have Paige from April 7th, 2014. This was the night after WrestleMania 30. AJ Lee says that she's beating everybody, basically cutting a CM Punk-like promo at the time Punk left, and AJ Lee was his future wife, fiance. Like, I feel like Tommy Wiseau, my future wife. But yeah, Paige comes in, debuts, congratulates AJ. AJ's like, you know what, you're just pathetic and this and that, and slaps her. And then AJ puts the Divas Championship on the line, and they fight, and Paige beats her in like 10 seconds. Eventually, this led to future matches that were good, not great, but I'm glad I saw those matches. And yeah, Paige wins the Divas Championship. For the first time, that belt meant something. You know, when Paige won it, it was like, holy shit, is this the change of a new Divas division? Granted, not yet. It was slowly getting there. It still took a while. It took, another 2 years to finally get that Divas Championship out of the blue. So, it's just, it's what you get. At number 6, we have Mankind from Raw, April 1st, 1996. There's a lot of April debuts. I don't know. I just noticed that. But Mankind debuts. Now, at the time, I remember we had like some video packages of like Mankind just being this crazy guy. And like, what the fuck? Is this going to be like the next Undertaker or something? And then Mankind debuts finally. He was just great. And then this eventually led to Mick Foley being the guy that we all know and love, with the mandible claw. Eventually became Mr. Socko. This was a debut of something unique. You were just invested. You were just waiting. When is this guy going to debut? And I think they did a phenomenal job with Mankind. At number 5, Finn Balor. There's a lot of good debuts in the modern times. Granted, some of them eventually lead to nothing. But some kind of do. But number 5 was a guy that people were definitely getting behind on July 25th, 2016. Finn Balor, of course. He debuts right after the draft happened. Finn Balor wins a Fatal 4-Way. Then he beats Roman Reigns, who won the previous Fatal 4-Way. And now he goes on to take on the Universal Champion at SummerSlam to face Seth Rollins. And it was just a great debut, basically showing that they were like taking risks with Finn Balor. Sadly, they stopped taking risks with Finn Balor. Granted, we have the Balor Club, see where that goes. But I just hope that Finn Balor gets his push that he deserves. He at least gets a chance to be Universal Champion once again. At least say we got that belt back to him. So I'm glad to see that Finn Balor just had an excellent debut, a perfect debut for him. At number 4, we have a guy that a lot of people like. I'm personally not a big fan of him, but March 31st, 2003, we have Goldberg. Yes. Goldberg debuts here. The Rock is cutting a promo how he beat Austin, and then Goldberg. You hear Goldberg's music. You see him walking the typical from the parking lot all the way to the arena. He just says, "You're next," and spears him. basically showing that Goldberg is a guy to not fuck with. And, you know, despite his booking in 2003, that was just a perfect way to debut. At number 3, this one was kind of different because it's not a wrestler. But at number 3 from freaking July 15, 2002, we have Eric Bischoff. Yes, Eric Bischoff arrives to Monday Night Raw, becomes the Raw general manager, and that eventually led to some of the greatest TV in history of Monday Night Raw's history. Yes, Vince McMahon put Eric Bischoff in charge, and that was just a mind-blowing experience considering how badly Eric Bischoff and Vince McMahon hate each other. That handshake was just crazy, and it wasn't even like a handshake. It was like kind of like this, and I don't know. This eventually was the setup of just great things to come, like the debut of the Elimination Chamber, Rob Van Dam, and the ladder matches, and it was just, you know, Eric Bischoff debuting this way was, first of all, it was shocking, and it was incredible. Great debut. At number 2 from March 19, 2002, we have Brock Lesnar. Yes, I remember the thing. It was like Maven and Spike Dudley in a random hardcore match or something like that. And then, because I remember there was a third guy in there. And then Brock Lesnar, this big dude, like, who the fuck is this guy? Just beats the shit out of everybody in the ring. And I was like, who in the hell is this guy? And why should we care about him? And then one guy steps up, Paul Heyman. And I was like, oh, we're good. Because Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, that eventually led to what we all know Brock Lesnar to be. And yes, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, greatest workers at the time and still today. This guy looked intimidating. This guy looked like he was ready to fight, and this guy was a beast. So yes, Raw here was the pain, and it was just the perfect epic debut, but not quite number 1. Number 1 for me was 1999. From August 9th, 1999, we had the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller, Chris Jericho. I mean, what else can it be? That was just pretty interesting how they did it, because throughout Monday Night Raw, we had a Titantron, this clock just taking, even Jericho in his documentary, I think it was like Behind the Walls or something, but basically he talks about that moment he debuted to Raw, and it was just a pretty cool moment in his eyes. He just sees that clock ticking. He's just waiting. We're waiting. What is it? Eventually, The Rock is cutting the promo, and then we have 3, 2, 1. A pyro hits. You hear, "Come on, you know I got to." Yeah. 1, break the walls, and it says Jericho. Welcome to Raw. It's Jericho, and he right away feuds with The Rock. I mean, you can't get better than that. The anticipation and just how over Jericho was. I mean, so this basically made Jericho who he is now. So these are the best Raw debuts in history. So anyways, that will be all. It's me being the ALE Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I'm going to be back with more top 10 for Raw. And until then, I'm out.